All right, so today we're talking voice-over conferences, what they are, why they're an absolute must for any serious voice actor, and how to navigate your first one like a pro. If you're a newer voice actor looking to develop your skills, build your sense of community within the VO business, or just see what in the hell the buzz is all about, stick around. From why to attend to an included in this video VO Conference's survival guide packed with tips will walk you through everything you need to know to make your first voiceover conference a rousing success. And at the end, I'm going to give you the link to my free done for you voiceover conferences calendar, which once you subscribe and add the calendar to your personal calendar, it'll automatically update the information as it becomes available. How cool is that? Now, voiceover conferences are just about the only place in the world that I know of where you can get together with a clown car full of crazy people and get together and talk about things like acting technique and vocal warm-up and have the time of your life. So whether you're brand spanking new to voiceover or whether you've been in it for a while and you're getting ready to go to maybe your first conference or consider your first conference, voiceover conferences are not just a great way to learn about the industry and do it quickly, but also to build that all-important sense of community within the VO industry. And that, my friend, can supercharge your career. So if you've been wondering to yourself if voiceover conferences are for you, what the hubbub is all about, stick around. We're going to get into it right now and make this first voiceover conference for you a huge victory. First of all, what is a voiceover conference? It is nothing other than a huge gathering of people that come together. It's voice actors, it's coaches, it's vendors, demo producers, you name it, to educate ourselves and each other about the industry and to connect with each other within the industry. Everybody from across the country and across the world often gets together, shares their insights on every possible aspect and genre of voice acting, including the craft and the business of voice acting. They're kind of a one-stop shop for career advice, business advice, hands-on training, and maybe most importantly, access to people that can help you move your career forward more quickly. Now, unlike a typical seminar or training session, these conferences, when when these people get together, it's like a huge family reunion. Everybody has different strengths. Everybody works in different genres. Audiobook, commercial, video game, animation, dubbing, you name it. And you get all those different perspectives and specialties in the room. And each conference can be different and unique and special and so much fun. And before you think, well, that sounds kind of dry, it's not just classroom sessions and lectures and training. There's workshops, panel discussions, networking, demo feedback, and oh my God, so much more. It's like a big VO buffet or smorgasbord where you get to pick what you need and be able to sample that. And the energy? Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, why attend a voiceover conference? If you're wondering if it's really worth it, here's my humble opinion. Abso-fucking-lutely. Especially if you're serious about building a long-lasting voiceover business. Here's why. One, knowledge you can't Google. Yeah, there's lots of tips and tricks and strategies and stuff online, including on this YouTube channel. But there is no substitute for getting in a room with people that can teach you the ins and outs of the business directly. There's a big difference between reading about a technique for a particular genre and getting instruction in that genre, in that technique from a qualified, reputable coach in real time. Number two, networking with a purpose. A voiceover conference is, in my opinion, the best place to make connections with other voice actors, with other people in the business, be it demo producers, be it gear representatives, be it whoever it might be, casting directors, you name it. Building those connections, starting and growing those relationships is absolutely crucial and fundamental to propelling your voiceover career forward. They lead to partnerships, mentorships, yes, referrals and gigs outright sometimes too. And the relationships that you form in person at conferences, sometimes even at online conferences, will be foundational to the richness of your career and your life as you move forward. Number three, direct access to industry influencers. Imagine being able to sit with casting directors and agents directly in the room with them and find out exactly what they're looking for. Conferences provide that kind of access, and you can't really get it anywhere else. You get advice straight from the people who know how to make your submissions stand out, your auditions, what types of reads are in demand, and how those trends are changing. And maybe just as importantly, how to navigate a business and industry that's changing at light speed. And here's the thing, the earlier in your voiceover career you can get that insight and gain that knowledge, the better for you. Number 4, new tools and techniques. I said before, this business changes at the speed of light. Technology in this business moves quickly as well. Gear, software, editing techniques. If you're using tools and processes that are a decade old, you're way behind your quote-unquote competition. And a lot of times at these conferences, you can get hands-on demo of software or try out a microphone or feel it in your hands, and you can't do that when you're buying stuff from Sweetwater or Amazon, as good as they may be. Number 5, career clarity. Look, we're already isolated in what we do, and it's the easiest thing in the world to get caught up in your own little tiny bubble by yourself, wondering if you're even headed in the right direction. Conferences give you a better perspective on the business and on your particular career. And a lot of times you'll find opportunities that maybe heretofore you haven't even considered. And conferences can be especially helpful if you're still in that place where you're figuring out what your niche in this business is going to be. And if you're exploring different genres and different avenues to find work. Number 6, and this comes in droves, inspiration and motivation. You spend a few days around a group of passionate voice actors, and it cannot help but rub off on you in a very positive way. I can still remember my first Mavo, my first VO Atlanta, and I came home with a full heart and an exhausted mind. And I promise you, if you do this right, you will come back more inspired, more motivated, more fired up about your voiceover career than you ever have been. Number 7, market yourself more effectively. A lot of VO conferences do talk about the business side of the business. In fact, evocation and vocation are dedicated to the business side of the business, and they're also covered at the other conferences, Mavo and One Voice, and VO Atlanta, and that's voiceover. Topics like marketing and self-promotion and branding and how to make an effective voiceover website and creating a demo that not just sounds good, but actually gets you booked and gets you on rosters. To me, shocker that I'm going to say this, I believe that learning to market your business effectively is the difference between surviving or not. Especially when you come out of the blocks, you've got everything ready to go, you've got your demos, you've got your website, you are ready to market. You need to get out there and let people know that you exist so that you can start building your reputation and your client base. And number 8, build a support network. I think possibly the greatest thing about voiceover conferences is this is the place that you're going to build in real life connections with people that will become your support network. One of the first people that I ever met at one of my first conferences was my buddy Craig Williams in Houston. Craig and I met at a conference. We hit it off immediately. I think it was Mavo that we met at. It might have been VO Atlanta. It's been so long now. But talk about my support network. Craig and I have been accountability buddies from that point moving forward, which right now is 6 or 7 years and counting. Look, voice acting can be a ridiculously isolating job, right? We're all stuck in our tiny little padded cells talking to ourselves all day, and not even our spouses, our partners, our kids, they don't even know what we face on a day in, day out basis. They don't know the shit that we deal with and the challenges and the ups and downs like other voice actors that do this for a living do. All right, what should you expect at a voiceover conference? I mean, like what kind of programming, what kind of content is there? Great question. Glad you asked. First, you've got workshops, small. And when I say small, they can be anywhere from 8 or 10 people up to 20 or 30, or sometimes even larger group sessions. You might have a workshop on, for example, character voices or demo production, maybe specific genres and techniques like commercial or audiobook or animation. Sometimes they even have, the conferences even have whole entire dedicated tracks to things like Spanish language or audiobooks. Now, workshops mean you're getting hands-on practical experience. You're getting feedback from an instructor and often from the people around you. And it can help expose you to new genres, new techniques. Some workshops are paid, in other words, in addition to your conference ticket price, but some are included with your conference ticket. Next up, panels. As you might guess, these are group discussions, often on stage with a panel of industry experts. You might have casting directors, agents, you might have a marketing panel, which I often sit on, a demo producers panel, there might be an AI panel. Oftentimes, the panels will have a structured format. They'll usually be a facilitator who will ask the panel questions, and the panel will weigh in. And then at the end, oftentimes, you and the audience will get to ask the panel a question or two yourself. One-on-one coaching. Some conferences do offer this, either one-on-one or small group coaching. Now, oftentimes, those sessions are in addition to your conference ticket. There isn't a fee or ticket involved. But my goodness, what a great way to get in the room physically with a coach who you might already be considering working with. Find out what their vibe is, how they teach, if what they say resonates with you, if you understand and you vibe with that coach. It's a great way to sample. Next up, and this is where I have a lot of fun, is networking and the networking events at conferences. Now look, whether it's a structured event like a mixer or lunch or a karaoke night or silent disco, or even something unstructured. You're sitting next to somebody at the hotel bar. Networking at a voiceover conference doesn't have to be a chore. It just doesn't, because you are surrounded by friends. These are people that do what you do. Everybody's on a spectrum. There are people further ahead from you, people that are not as far along as you. And I promise you, this community is the most welcoming, collaborative, kind group of people. And I still to this day cannot explain why. It just is. And lastly, exhibits. A lot of conferences feature an exhibit area where they bring in sponsors or vendors, people like gear manufacturers. You might see manufacturers of microphones or headphones or booths. There might be demo producers displaying in there, other sorts of training resources. It's a great way to blow through the room quickly, find out what's new, maybe check out a microphone that you haven't had a chance to hear yourself on, peek inside a professional voiceover booth and start to get a handle on what's involved there. And oftentimes the vendors, the sponsors, will offer a conference specific discount, so you can take advantage of that as well. Okay, so enough of the overview. Here's my voiceover conferences survival guide. Now that we covered the why and the what, let's talk about how to get the most out of your very first VO conference experience. First, choosing the right sessions for you, not for anybody else, for you. A lot of the conferences, especially the larger ones like One Voice or VO Atlanta, my God, they've got a list of sessions and programming and events a mile long. Even if it's an online conference, there can be a lot of programming built in, and it's tempting to want to do it all and see it all and experience it all. Trust me, don't. Resist that urge. Prioritize. Think about your career, where you are and where you want to go, and make strategic decisions and prioritize the content in that conference for your spot in your trajectory of your career. Are you still figuring out your niche? Well, you might want to attend a bunch of different genre programming. Do you need business and marketing advice? Well, you're going to want to prioritize those sessions. And by the way, if you've been in this and you've been to a few conferences, don't necessarily shy away from the quote-unquote newbie or beginner content, because we can all use a refresher from time to time. Number 2, and this one took me a while to learn myself, pace yourself. For example, VoiceOver Atlanta, VO Atlanta, is 4 days. I call it a car wash because, man, it is intense. The larger conferences like VO Atlanta and One Voice, they're marathons. They're 3 or 4 days long. They are not sprints. You cannot see and do it all. Don't even try. I tell people to treat, especially VO Atlanta, because it's 4 days, treat it like Disney World. In other words, accept up front that there's no way you're going to see and do it all, and make your strategic priority decisions from there. Do not try and kill yourself by trying to do everything all the time. Number 3, dress in layers. Even One Voice, which is in Dallas, Texas in August, you would think, well, I'm going to wear a t-shirt and shorts because it's going to be hot as blazes. And you'd be right. But in the conference rooms, in the venue, it can be freezing. One room might be a sauna, the next room might be a refrigerator. So bring a light sweater, bring a light fleece, no matter what time of year, because you're going to want to adjust to the room conditions, especially when they've got the AC blasting. I'm looking at you, J. Michael Snow Miser. Also, 2 more crucial words. Comfortable shoes. Conference days can be long, 12, 14, 16 hours, and you're going to be on your feet a lot more than you think. Number 4, pack healthy snacks. Again, long days. Oftentimes you might be in a 3-hour intense workshop. Keep a granola bar. Keep a little container of yogurt. Keep nuts and cheese and whatever is healthy, whatever your good go-to healthy snacks are that transport well. Stick them in your bag. That way you're not going to get as hungry or hangry in between sessions, and you're going to have a much better time. Number 5, take notes and do it wisely. Instead of trying to write down every single word, just boil it down to the key takeaways. Now, depending on how you prefer to take notes, you might want to bring a small notebook. You might want to bring, I always bring my iPad and my Apple Pencil with me, and that's the way I prefer to take notes. That's what works for me. You may prefer to bring a laptop and type your notes in digitally. You may prefer pen and paper, whatever works for you. But my God, please take notes. And because the whole point of a conference is to come home and look at your notes and not just file them away and pull out the action items that are actually going to make a difference in your career. If you do your notes digitally, you might want to consider apps like Evernote or Notion. I use Apple Notes and I love it. But it doesn't matter which one you use. Find one that works for you and use it, even again if that's pen and paper. Number 6, networking. Have a plan. You'll feel much more comfortable, especially if you're an introvert and you find networking a little overwhelming, maybe even a lot overwhelming. Here's a short, simple strategy. Make a short list of people that you would like to get to know, people that you would like to meet. Could be speakers, could be voice actors, could be other industry pros. But the idea is to get specific. Write down names. Maybe they're folks you've already met online and you'd like to meet them in real life. Now, on the other side, don't necessarily treat that written plan like gospel, like it's set in stone. Sometimes the best connections can come from sitting next to somebody at the bar, sitting next to somebody at lunch. Maybe you're standing in line for coffee and you strike up a conversation. So don't be afraid, especially in this community, to say hi to somebody that may be new just like you, somebody if you're more experienced, somebody that might look like they're lost or new. And it'll help welcome them to the conference, and everybody will get along a lot better. Number 7, business cards and sharing your contact information. Yeah, we live in a digital world, but, business cards still work, and they can be a nice branding touch for conferences. I prefer not to carry cards anymore. That's a personal choice that I made. I prefer to connect with people either digitally by, bumping phones and trading contact information that way, or in the moment, I'll look them up on LinkedIn and connect with them there so that we can continue the connection long after the conference is over. Some conferences, like One Voice, has a dedicated app where you can get people's contact information and download that and what have you. Whether you choose business cards, whether you choose digital contact swapping, however you want to do it, the point is to do it in a way that works for you and the other person you're exchanging contact information from. Number 8, set goals. What the hell do you want to get out of a conference? You got to figure that out. Is it learning about a specific genre? Is it getting some feedback on your demo? Do you want to meet a particular mentor or coach? Don't get crazy. Set a major goal or 2, maybe 3 tops, just to give you direction and to help you prioritize your time while you're there. Look, if you're a first timer, your goal might be as simple as, I want to connect with 3 other voice actors, or I might want to attend a session on business strategy. Keep them simple, keep them relatively few, and that will hone your focus while you're at the conference. Number 9, getting social on social. Figure out what the event's hashtag is. Connect with others. Take a bunch of selfies with other folks. It's so much fun, and you get to promote them, you get to promote yourself, you get to promote the conference, you get to connect on social media, and those connections will last long after the conference doors close and you go back home. Number 10, and I know this is a struggle for some people, do your best to, at your own pace, embrace the social events. Yeah, it is a professional event, but my God, We're people. It's also a place to have some fun. And most of the conferences build in social events, karaoke nights, and silent discos, and game shows. And no, they're not directly business related, but life isn't all business. We don't live to work, we work to live. And what a great way to bond with other people in the business than to have a little fun with them and build some community. Don't be afraid to let loose and enjoy yourself, but also, on the other hand, don't be messy. You don't want to be that guy. Number 11, a post-conference plan. After the conference ends, and especially when the first day when you get home, you will probably be exhausted, especially if it's your first one. And it's the easiest thing in the world to stuff your notes away and just kind of move on and recover and get on with your career. Big mistake. The whole point of a conference is to come back with action items that you will then sit down and devise a plan to implement in the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and a year. Look back at your conference goals. Did you achieve them? Did you do what you set out to do? You'll probably have achieved a lot of stuff that you didn't even set out to do that are positive things that you got out of that conference. Did you find new areas to explore? What do you want to learn at the next conference? And number 12, and this is another one that took me a long time to learn, get plenty of rest, both during the conference and after the conference. These things take a lot of physical and mental and emotional energy to get through. Between the sessions and networking and the social events and just the sheer pace of it all, you're probably going to be wiped out at the end of the day. Make it a priority. And I realize I can be a hypocrite about this, but I try to do it now more than I ever have. Make it a priority to get your rest and get through the next day fresh. Trust me, you're going to enjoy the whole conference a whole lot more if you're not running on fumes. So that's your voiceover conferences survival guide. Are VO conferences worth it? Yeah, in my opinion, they absolutely are. They're one of the best things about this business. For the connections, for the education, for the inspiration and motivation. Attending, especially your first voiceover conference, can be a game changer for you. They give you a much clearer sense of where in the hell you fit in this big kooky industry, who you want to connect with, and what you want to achieve in your career. You'll come back with an action plan. You'll come back with a much better sense of community in this business and the beginnings of, and I mean this literally, a family that will support you throughout your voiceover career. I walk into a voiceover conference now, and I can see dozens and hundreds of friends that I didn't have 10 years ago, and that is extremely gratifying. So if you're on the fence about attending your first conference, consider this Paulie's kick in the ass to you to get off your duff and get registered and to go to a conference. Book the ticket, pack the bag. Get ready and go. It will, I can almost guarantee you, change the way you see your career and the way you see what's possible for you in this business. And when you come out the other side, you're not just going to be a voice actor. You're going to be a voice actor with a plan. You're going to have a whole new bevy of friends and a jolt of motivation that's like pharmaceutical grade cocaine. And in a business where community and connection are so crucial to your success, I'm telling you, man, that ain't nothing. Now, I promised you the link to my free, done-for-you VO conferences calendar. This thing will update as more information becomes available, but you will have to do nothing except go to this link in the description and show notes and subscribe to the calendar. You'll be able to import that into your personal calendar and then, or on your mobile device, whatever you prefer, desktop, laptop, mobile, whatever. And as more information becomes available on these conferences, as we get closer to them, your information in your personal calendar will update automatically. Again, the link is in the show notes and description below. Also, you can go to vopro.pro to get my Move, Touch, Inspire newsletter that comes out weekly for thousands of voice actors now. You can get more information on the VO Pro community and the VO Freedom Master Plan, which will teach you how to market your businesses directly to prospects. If you found value from this video, then please, by all means, share it with another voice actor, share it with another freelancer or solopreneur. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you'll know when we publish a new video. And most of all, thanks for the conversation we have here on YouTube, in the blog at vopro.pro, and in the larger community of voice actors, because, and especially when we get together in the room at conferences, the more we talk, the more we exchange valuable information, the more we do so rationally and civilly, the better, stronger industry we're going to have for everybody. Thanks so much, and we'll see you again soon.